The power of amazing grace. Have you ever marveled at the incredible grace of God, that unmerited, boundless love and kindness that knows no boundaries and extends to every corner of our lives? It's a grace that transcends our understanding, a divine compassion that often leaves us in awe. Today, I want to take you on an even more profound journey through the amazing grace of God, to explore what it means for us and how it can shape our lives in profound ways. This amazing grace is like a gentle stream that flows through the tapestry of our existence, a stream that can quench the deepest thirst of our souls. It's not limited to a particular faith or creed. It's a universal gift, freely given to all of us. It's the balm for our wounds, the strength for our weakness, and the hope for our despair. In its presence, our mistakes, our flaws, and our past regrets fade into insignificance. It's a force that can breathe life into the barren landscapes of our hearts. When we encounter this grace, it can be a deeply transformational experience. It awakens us to the reality that we are loved just as we are, and that we are worthy of that love. It reminds us that we don't have to carry the burdens of our past, our guilt, or our insecurities. We are accepted with all our imperfections. But perhaps most importantly, it invites us to extend this grace to others as well. One of the most powerful aspects of God's grace is its ability to inspire us to be better, to grow, and to change. It's not a stagnant pool, but a dynamic, life-giving river. This grace tells us that we are not bound by our past, that we can move forward with hope and purpose. It encourages us to transform our lives, to let go of the things that hold us back, and to embrace a brighter, more fulfilling future. The universality of grace. A gift for all humanity. Grace, as we know it, is not confined by the walls of a specific faith or the doctrines of particular belief systems. It's a gift extended to humanity as a whole, transcending religious divisions and cultural boundaries. This universal grace is the common thread that unites us, reminding us of our shared humanity and the profound need for love and compassion that exists within every human heart. So, regardless of our individual spiritual paths or lack thereof, grace is an open door through which we can all walk. Grace as a compassionate embrace. Picture grace as a compassionate embrace that envelops our entire being. It's an acknowledgement that we are imperfect, that we stumble and fall, but that we are worthy of love nonetheless. This love doesn't discriminate based on our past, our present struggles, or our doubts. It reminds us that we are enough, just as we are. The beauty of grace is that it doesn't require us to meet a set of prerequisites or achieve a certain level of spiritual perfection. It's freely given, like a light that pierces through the darkest clouds, offering warmth and solace to our wounded souls. Grace as a transformative power. One of the most extraordinary aspects of grace is its capacity to inspire transformation. It's not just a soothing balm for our pain, it's also the catalyst for our growth. When we encounter grace, it encourages us to evolve, to become better versions of ourselves. It whispers that we are not defined by our past mistakes, that we can embark on a journey of self-improvement. The grace of God propels us toward a brighter future. It calls us to let go of the weights we've been carrying, the regrets that have weighed down our spirits. It invites us to step into the light of hope, to allow our lives to be infused with purpose and meaning, a force that unifies. In a world where divisions often run deep, grace is a unifying force. It reminds us that beneath the surface differences of our beliefs, our cultures, and our ideologies, there lies a common human thread. We are all in need of grace, and we all have the capacity to extend it to others. This unity in grace shows us that our shared humanity is a powerful force that can bridge divides, heal wounds, and inspire compassion. Extending grace to others. When we encounter grace, it has a profound effect on the way we interact with others. It reminds us of the importance of extending grace to those around us. This doesn't mean turning a blind eye to wrongdoing or injustice, but rather, it encourages us to approach even the most challenging situations with compassion and understanding. Grace is a reminder that every individual we encounter is carrying their own burdens, fighting their own battles. It's a call to be more patient, more forgiving, and more empathetic. When we live with grace in our hearts, we create a ripple effect that touches the lives of those around us. Our grace becomes a source of inspiration for others to extend grace as well, embracing grace in the face of adversity. It's often during the most challenging times of our lives that we fully appreciate the magnitude of God's grace. When we face hardships, loss, or adversity, it's the grace that comforts us. It gives us the strength to endure and the assurance that we are not alone in our struggles. It's in these moments that we learn to lean into grace, to rely on it as an anchor for our souls. As the storms of life rage around us, grace becomes our shelter. It's the unshakable foundation that keeps us standing when all else seems to crumble. Grace doesn't promise a life without difficulties, but it does promise that we won't face these difficulties alone. An evolving journey. Our journey with grace is one of evolution. It's not a one-time encounter, but a continuous, evolving relationship. As we deepen our understanding of grace, it becomes an integral part of our lives. We find ourselves living with more compassion, forgiveness, and understanding. Grace becomes the lens through which we view the world, coloring our interactions and decisions. Grace is also a guiding star on our moral compass. It reminds us that even when the world seems dark and chaotic, we can be the source of light, the beacon of hope. It teaches us that we have the capacity to effect positive change in our world, one small act of kindness at a time. Grace as an agent of justice. There's a misconception that grace implies turning a blind eye to injustice. However, grace, when fully embraced, compels us to address these issues with love and wisdom. It teaches us to seek justice, to work towards reconciliation, and to stand up for what is right. Grace is not a passive force, it's an active one. We see grace in the heroes who have walked this earth, those who have tirelessly fought for justice, equality, and the well-being of others. Grace inspires us to be the change we wish to see in the world, to take a stand against oppression and cruelty. It's not a call to inaction, but a call to fight for a better world with the tools of empathy and compassion. A guiding star in troubled waters. In the turbulent seas of life, we often seek solace and direction. Grace becomes our guiding star, leading us through the storm. When we find ourselves lost in the darkness of despair, grace is the beacon that shines brightly, showing us the way forward. As we navigate the challenges of our lives, we are constantly reminded of the significance of grace. It helps us find strength in our weakest moments, hope in our most desperate moments, and light in our darkest moments. The ripple effect of grace. Perhaps one of the most beautiful aspects of grace is its ripple effect. When we encounter grace, when we extend it to others, we set in motion a chain reaction that can bring profound positive change to the world. The kindness we show to one person can inspire them to show kindness to another. In this way, grace becomes a force of transformation that touches the lives of countless individuals. We've all heard stories of individuals whose lives have been turned around by a single act of grace. It's a testament to the power of grace to bring healing and transformation, not only on a personal level, but also on a global scale. The miraculous nature of grace. In many ways, grace is a miraculous force. It has the capacity to mend the broken, heal the wounded, and inspire the weary. It's a force that transcends the ordinary and ventures into the realm of the extraordinary. Grace is not bound by the limitations of our human understanding. It's a divine mystery that we can only touch the surface of. Grace as a source of hope. Hope is something we all need, especially in the face of adversity, uncertainty, and despair. Grace provides us with this hope. It reassures us that even in our darkest moments, there is a glimmer of light. Grace is the unwavering belief that our circumstances can change, that our hearts can mend, and that our world can become a better place. A call to acceptance and love. In its essence, grace is a call to acceptance and love. It teaches us to accept ourselves with all our flaws and imperfections, and to extend the same acceptance to others. Grace is the affirmation that love knows no boundaries, that every human heart is deserving of this love. We are all bound by a common thread of humanity, and grace reminds us of this shared connection. In a world often divided by hatred and discrimination, grace calls us to unity, to stand side by side in love and compassion. As we conclude our exploration of the amazing grace of God, I invite you to reflect on the impact of grace in your life. How has it touched your heart and shaped your journey? Grace is a gift offered to all, a force of transformation and unity. It's the guiding star that illuminates our way in the darkest of times and the wellspring of hope that flows through our souls. In a world yearning for kindness, acceptance, and love, grace becomes our guiding principle. It teaches us to see the humanity in one another, to embrace the differences that make our world beautiful, and to extend love and compassion to all. Grace is not just a concept, but a call to action, a call to be the instruments of positive change in our world. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the amazing grace of God. As we continue to walk our individual paths, let grace be our constant companion, inspiring us to live with kindness, to seek justice, and to be a source of hope for those we encounter.